It sounds interesting, kind of? Yeah. Hope I'll get you more interested into it. I think everybody likes prosperity, right? There are a few general definitions of prosperity, all of which have similar meanings. Webster defines prosperity as the condition of being successful or thriving, especially economic well-being. Another definition says a successful, flourishing, or thriving condition, especially in financial respects, good fortune. What do you say about that definition? Does it make sense? A successful, flourishing, thriving condition, especially in financial respects, good fortune. I like the word good fortune there. It's something like the fortune cookie, the Chinese fortune cookie. That's what I think about. I think about just crack open that cookie, and sometimes you will say, you will marry this one. You will get $1 million. You'll get plenty prosperity. Now, all of this is probably the boring stuff when you think about it, because you'll say, oh gosh, Pastor, well I know about prosperity already. I understand about prosperity. But I want to bring a little twist, and I hope that you will accept this twist that God was really showing me. We all, and I don't really like this computer, so bear with me. I find the name of technology. Thanks be to God for the noise. I bought a new computer, and it's heavier than the old one, and I thought that when I was buying it, it was lighter. So I end up now with a heavier computer, and now I can't walk around, and I like to walk around a little bit. So I'm multitasking very quickly here. Sorry to break the chain of thought, but we'll come back to it. You know, Daddy used to have me as the computer person when something goes wrong. Richard, come up and fix this. Come up and fix this. And within a split second, and now I don't have nobody to fix my computer for me. How about that? I would teach Auntie Andrea to fix my computer for me. That's what I will do. Praise the Lord, right? Yes. Well, Uncle Hardy there too. Uncle Hardy, good to see you in the house this morning. Somebody say, All right, bear with me one more second. Right. 1 second. So, right. Oh, you know I left-handed, right? Awkward moment. We are all human beings for the most extent. Some of us are not human beings. No, we are all human beings, right? We have all experienced many experiences when it comes to riches and prosperity. Wouldn't you say so? I would say that God bless us, you know. I don't know about you, but we come into it. We have been trained to equate prosperity with the systems of this world, particularly and obviously money, as the main indicator of prosperity, right? Sister Abby, talk to me, you know. I know you have a business. I have a business too, you know that? Yeah, I have a business. Somebody know that. Very good. Nothing is wrong with that. And I would be crazy to come to you today, this morning, to tell you that prosperity doesn't include money. I would be insane, right? Wouldn't I be? Because at the end of the day, the world, when you think about it, they say what does make the world go wrong? Love? They say money does make the world go round and round. But I want to reinforce that prosperity isn't money alone. I sat down hard and I thought about the indicators, Brother Aaron. I thought about the indicators of success and came up with a few such indicators. Most indicators of prosperity are associated with your current possessions and associations. Wouldn't you say so? That's really a big word to say. That what we look at in terms of our prosperity is connected to something. We don't just look at ourselves and say, we're prosperous. We're prosperous because of something. And I know my two moms in the house this morning, so they will correct me later if I say something wrong, but I don't think I'm saying anything wrong. So the first indicator, and probably the least valuable that I need to talk about today in your life, is associated with that business and that money when you think about it. Oh Lord, I lost somebody there. Oh, no, right. Pastor, how could you say something so offensive like that? How could you say that the least important one is business and money? Well, I'll come to it. It's not really that I want to be offensive. You know, when I come in church and I say something, it has to be taken into context. For example, I would not come to my dear sister and say something to offend you. I will say something to perhaps open your eyes, perhaps for you to look at it at a different angle. It's like this. When you're sitting down on one side of the church, right, you see something from the left side. But when you sit down on the right side, somebody might have a mole that they don't have on the left side, but you get to see it on the right side when you move on a different angle. Until today, that is really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move in a different angle. I'm trying to show you a different angle. So, we all, as I said, as human beings, for the most extent, oh, I'm going back, I'm reading the wrong one. Pastor Wright, so how could you say that? It's not being offensive. So today, if you feel offended by what I'm saying, I want you to go back and I want you to think, am I a bad person? Or do I want to come here to make you feel bad? No, I don't. Alright, I want you to feel good this morning. This morning, I think we're already feeling good this morning. And we want to continue to feel good this morning. So, let's move on here. So one of the indicators, and it is downright the most obvious indicator, as I said, is money. Because it is the most obvious one. I don't really need to come too much and talk too much about money to you, but I want to bring something to you in the process of money. You see, money can buy things that have a monetary value. Obvious again. You might say, oh gosh, you're talking real stupidness this morning. Money can buy things of a monetary value. And it will come to more meaning when I go on. So we appreciate that money makes, as I said, the world go round. So things like food that have a monetary value to it. Clothing has a value to it in terms of money. Housing, value. Transportation, value. Actually, transportation is really expensive these days. I think from San Fernando to Palmyra is how much, Sister Shelley? Sister Shelley might know? $6. I remember when it used to be $2.75, and I'm sure some people could remember when it was $1 and all this kind of thing. So there's a monetary value to those things. All right. Even sometimes medical assistance, Brother Darren, there's a monetary value up to a certain extent. Rent, loans, business can be valued in terms of money. Right? Even the church, and I come into the most important part here, like this church, the financial aspects can be defined by money. So you see, I'm not trying to make money as the devil. What I'm trying to say is it is part of nearly everything that we do. Alright? The rent for the services, the chairs, the air condition, the current we use, there's a monetary value. Yeah? Right, I said the air condition. So at the end of the day, how it has to be paid. When you think about it, it has to be paid. Money, therefore, when a Christian prospers, in other words, when God has given his children, he expects his children to take up the responsibility. You see, as a baby, how much you could expect a baby to do other than cry when they're hungry? But as a Christian who prospers, God expects something back from you. And you know the first one, the reason why I brought money as the first one is because it is the least important one. Even though I just told you the lights, the air condition, the building, the medical assistance, all that is very important in a sense, but still money is the least important one. Alright, so I'll bring the weakest point before I will bring the strongest point. So God expects that his children to take up the responsibility to prosper what is also important to him. Have we ever thought about it that way? What is important to God? Let me hear it. Somebody said it. The church is important to God. What is the church? The church is, by real definition, you and I. You and I sit in this building. So when they talk about money, when I talk about money today, I talk about the building, but for whom? For you and I. the church. So what is, as I'm coming back to the point I'm saying here, what is God saying? If you are prosperous, what do you do with your prosperity? Do you give it back to the church? Do you give it back to what matters to God, which is you and also other people? Understand the selflessness I'm coming by as well too. And I will come to it a little more. So let me try to give it as an analogy. I think, and what I like to think of it, like how my father was the pastor of Word of Life Faith Center. So let me explain it in terms of my dad. My dad was pastor of Word of Life Faith Center. I was what you call the pastor's son. The pastor's son, right? And Daddy would come here and he would preach about God, he would preach about Jesus, so he's preaching about good things. Well, not here in Mukarapo Street, right? He would have preached about good things. He would have preached about doing the right thing. He would preach about praying. He would preach about seeking God, trying to not commit sins, trying to not, whatever is the situation, but I'm talking about good stuff, right? He will never say, go and slap somebody, go and do something. So you understand what I'm talking about. And I had a responsibility, and this is how I'll put it. So my father was a good person, and I had a responsibility. And guess what my responsibility at that time was, Uncle Hadid? My responsibility at that point in time was not to make my father look bad. I had a responsibility. Nobody came to me. My father didn't come to me and tell me, well, you know what? I don't want you to make me look bad. But yet I knew my responsibility. Well, you could say, how did I know my responsibility? I just knew that I wanted the same way he had done good things. I didn't want to make him look bad. And it's the same way when you think about it with God. If God prospers you, and right now we're using the word prosper as money, but I'll come to it in more detail. So God prospers you with something, then don't you have a responsibility? Whether it is, and we're not talking about tithes in the church, but we'll come to that. Whether it is putting that money into church or using your prosperity for something good, you have automatically gained responsibility. It is like having a child. When you have a child, you don't just have a child. After you have a child, you now have gained responsibility. Nobody has to tell you that you have to take care of your child. You know it. It's there already. So I'm coming. I know we're talking about prosperity, but I'm talking about the responsibilities as well. So in turn, he would expect basic responsibilities. And so as I always say, that is something I try to do the majority of the times. In fact, I had a lot of friends who were also pastors' children. And a lot of the times, and I do this is not to, you have to be very careful how I say things, but a lot of the times they were very hurt. I saw the hurt in a lot of pastors' children. And it's not something you fully understand unless your mother or your father becomes a pastor. There is a lot of hurt, and I'll tell you where the lot of hurt comes. This is off the topic. A lot of hurt comes with the fact that being a pastor and a human being, you can only be in one place at one point in time. And when I would, I know a lot of, as I said, I know a lot of children who are pastors' children. And for very prominent pastors, and they hold a lot of hurt. And you won't come out and say, hey, I have a lot of hurt. They'll say it in certain ways. Sometimes you might even see, sometimes they just be doing the wrong thing. They want attention. They want something and they're not getting what they want. So a lot of the times there's a lot more going on than what people think. And that's why, a lot of the times when I saw them, I say, I wonder what the father would think if they see it. And I would look back and I would say that even with me. I would look back and say, well, did I do the right thing? Was I a good person? I didn't claim to be an absolutely perfect person when I was younger. But I tried to, of course, not embarrass my parents. That responsibility, because you know why? You love them. When you think about it, if you love somebody, you don't try to embarrass them really, when you think about it. Am I getting somewhere this morning? You wouldn't try to embarrass them. You will try to make them, you will try to hold them up. And you know, sometimes when I say that, sometimes I think of my uncle, I think of Uncle Hardy, and I think of Auntie Indra. Through thick and thin, well, Mel, I think of you all as well too. But through thick and thin, you know, it is such a comfort to know that my family, my literal blood family, is also here. And Word of Life, it's not because you are not my blood family, doesn't mean I don't consider you. I consider you. I do consider you. Maybe I have a power you're showing it, maybe. But I do. Sister Shelley, I like that purple hair. Alright, good. Alright, so I went off topic there. So you see, God wants something from us in return. He wants to prosper you because He loves you. But in same doing, He loves the church. And you know something? He wants your love. So He wants to love in different ways. And as I said, love is a different thing. I will love my wife differently, maybe from how I love my mother. By law, not in law, by law, as she says. So I will love differently. But yet still, we all come back to that point of love. God gives you something. What do you give back in return? All He wants is your love. And I'll show you how it goes to prosperity. So, of course, as I said, He wants the church to prosper. A lot of the times we see our relationship with God as a one-way relationship, where we are receiving. And that's fine because we do receive. We do receive. Who can say that God hasn't given us something, Sister Abigail? Who can say that? But our relationship with God, well, I guess the atheists could say that they don't get something. But I surely get something every time I come in this service and I hear that praise and worship and it opens me up. I feel the presence of God. And it doesn't take all the shaking, it doesn't take all the jumping. Just when your heart opens up. When you feel like that shield that you have, that you wear on a daily basis is dropped. When you could drop that shield and not be ashamed or afraid. That is, of course, as I said, only God does do that to you. When you give everything, you drop that shield and you give Him everything. Because you know something? You can never drop that shield and God will disappoint you. He's always there. He's never going to be a hater to you. So you can drop that shield at any point in time and you can say, Lord, you might be able to tell anybody what your problem is. It might be such a personal problem. But you could come to God and you could say, Lord, you could never be ashamed. You could say, yes, Lord, a week, as I was listening yesterday. I was listening to a sermon yesterday. I went out yesterday and I was listening to a sermon. And the man said, you know, you can pray all the time, Lord, you're weak. Lord, I'm weak, help me. And what I was saying, that evening, that prayer, you could say, Lord, I'm weak. And you don't have to be ashamed of it. Because you know why? When you tell God it, who else is going to change you? God is going to change you. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed if you feel any sort of weakness. Go to God. Open your heart out. I'm going off topic again. I like to talk, eh? Alright, so I'm moving back. So a lot of the times we see our relationship one way, where we receive, and that's fine because we do receive. But our relationship with God is mutual, even when it comes to prosperity in monetary values. And I want to bring it into context here. Go to Malachi 3:10, if you have your sword with you this morning. It's a very popular verse, but I want to repeat it here. Because I want to prove that what I said there was also in the Bible. Amen? Amen. Quiet. Too quiet. Have me nervous. Either listen or sleeping. Sister Shelley, where are you? I listen, right. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse. And before I read this, I want to tell you something. Only remember when Dad used to say, they can say I'm talking about money. Only remember that? Well, I'm talking about money. I'm talking about money a little bit, but not because I want to force you to give. It's not about that. I want to teach you something about it. Malachi 3:10 says, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. So who was speaking? God, exactly. The way this was worded sounds as if man was speaking. But really, it was God speaking. And God said, if I will not, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that, I put in there, shall not be room enough to receive it. So what does that say? You see, don't talk about money. Understand where I'm coming from? I'm bringing it back. All the pastor talking about money. But I'm saying here, Malachi in the Bible talked about it. He talked about the tithes, if I'm not mistaken. But what is the tithes these days? The tithes is the money. So Malachi talking here, I just backing up Malachi point. In the book of Malachi, I mean. So the idea of prosperity, according to this scripture, is a round circle. It is a cycle. You know why I say it is a cycle? It's not just one piece. Because who does prosper you? God does prosper you. So when God prosper you, what does he say? Actually, and you could take it in the other way around, which is, bring your tithes and give it. And I will, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing. So what he was saying is, bring your tithes. And you know what will happen? I will pour out a blessing onto you. It wasn't one way. I'm not receiving alone. You hear what I'm saying? So yes, we expect plenty things from God. Sometimes, you know, if we have a little habit, like, I don't know, maybe if we smoking, for example, we want something from God. God, take this away from it, take this away from it, take this away from it. But we're not giving back unto God. So I'm saying again today, and that is the start of my prosperity. It is a cycle. Are you getting something here this morning? Amen. So the money part of prosperity is like an iceberg. All you know about the iceberg and all you know about Titanic, right? Titanic bunks this iceberg and then the ship sink. But what really is that iceberg? You see, what we see in front of us, tell me what we see in front of us. Well, I'll give you a hint. We see in the building, we see in lights, we see in that we need food, we need transportation. So what it is we see in? We see in money. So that is the top of the iceberg, Mel. We see in the money part because it's plain in front of us. We can't miss it. But I want to tell you something. An iceberg don't float on the top. A strong one buried deep below. And that's what I want you to see in prosperity and the responsibility of prosperity. So we can clearly see the importance of money and the impact of money. It is easily recognized. It is sometimes enough to motivate us to do things accordingly. But what is under the water, as I said, is also the part of the iceberg. It is even much so the bigger part that is underneath the water that you don't really get to see when you're on the ship outside. So if we look only, here this I said if, we look only at having $1 million and not look at what God has given to us in other ways, we might become depressed. You know, sometimes I sit down and say, this boy have a real nice car, and this one have this, and you have a nice dress, and she have a nice dress. She have a nice dress. And this one have a nice fridge, and this one have a nice this. And then I start to realize, well, like me, I have nothing. I don't have a good shoe. I don't have a good jacket. And I start to get depressed. But I want to tell you that is really the devil trying to make you depressed. And we will come to it. So the devil is trying to make us believe that we are not prosperous. How much of you all feel that way? You don't have to raise your hands. But if you feel that you're not prosperous, I will bring it back to you. I want to bring it back to you. And you know, in the process of being depressed and feeling down, you know what this happens to us? We become ungrateful. You know, what I say here is from experience. I'm not throwing that out for all you. What I say is from experience. Because back when I was working for, I can't say the company, but I was working for a company, right? Because I signed an agreement, just can't say what company and what not, nothing. I remember when I now started to work, the pay wasn't worth the driving to go to Port of Spain. That's to tell you how it was. And I'm sure a lot of us come from humble beginnings. And I would sit back and I would say, no, but I studied so hard, I did so much work, I give up so much things, and look, my first job and I can't even afford to go to Port of Spain and come back. Now, really and truly, it wasn't just about the Port of Spain. I could have made that. But you know, you want some money and you want it in your bank account, and you have to see your bank account go up, not down, and that kind of thing. So back then, the devil trying hard, you know, the devil saying, but you ain't have nothing. That's what the devil telling me. And then now I'm thinking, I'm young in Christ too. I'm thinking, but God, why you don't give me something? You ever feel like that? They say, you're quarreling God, you know, you start to quarrel God and they say, God, but why you ain't giving me this and why you ain't giving me that? Use something else, God. That's what they're saying. No, I'll be honest, I'm being truthful. We have to be real, eh? We have to be real. When we were young, we think like young people. And as we get older and wiser, we know better. So, the depression coming, and then the ungratefulness coming. So now, you go on and see somebody, as I say, I go on and see somebody with a nice car. I drive him a burn down Lancer. No, I kidding, but Lancer wasn't burn down then. But I drive in my car and I'm looking at the BMW, and I'm looking at the Benz, and I'm looking at all these nice things, and they are nice things. They are nice things. And my Lancer become nothing. You realize that? How the devil is trying to make you think that you're not prosperous. You have something. My mother, by law, she have nice earrings on. But you know something, my mother-in-law, if she wasn't mature, she might have looked at Sister Denise. You have an earring, Sister Denise? And say, Sister Denise, earring nicer. And you know what happened to you, my mother-in-law, who, as I say, you know better. You might have said, my earrings are nothing. So the devil tries to take what you have, which is something, and blind you and make you think that you have nothing. You hear how easy it is? Somebody will come. Let me tell you how easily the devil will work. Somebody will come and they will tell you, disclose that you have. I have something nicer than it. And how you feel? Like what you have is nothing. But I want to tell you something. What you have is something. Each and every one of us have something good, something prosperous in us. And I want to bring that back to you. Alright? So we're moving on. We're moving on the idea of just money, though we understand its importance. So we come back to the definition of prosperity. A successful, flourishing, or thriving condition, especially in financial aspects. Good fortune. A successful, flourishing, or thriving condition. I said, Lord, what else do we have going for us that is valuable in our lives? Mel, what else do we have? Mel, you're feeling uncomfortable. Sorry, I'll target somebody else. I'm not targeting really. I just feel comfortable today saying Mel. I should say Charles, but I'm not seeing my wife. So I guess she in Sunday school. Alright. So the next thing that came to me is that we all have skills. And some people that use these skills to bring food to the table call it trades. How much do we have a trade? Brother Avinash, you have a trade? Trades? Learning. I will show you something about that, Brother Avinash. God put skills into our lives to prosper us. I say that back again. God put skills in our lives to prosper us. Hear that clearly. Not that He gives us skills in our lives to make us prosperous. It sounds like the same thing, but it is a little different. I'm saying that God has already made you prosperous. You see, if you have a skill, whether you have used it for money or not, you have been prospered. You see, I come back again a lot of the times, and I don't want to make it sound, I don't want to bash, it's not to bash anybody, but a lot of the times in a sermon you will hear, God makes you prosperous. You will get $10,000, you'll get $10 million, you'll get this amount of money, you'll get that amount of money. But I want to say before all that, you was already prosperous. But you know what? You start to look at other things. Because you know why? The something became nothing. You know what I'm saying? The something became nothing. So what I'm saying is you already have the something. Which means what? You are prosperous. Your prosperity is there already. It is in you. You just need to harness it accordingly sometimes. And we'll get to this. And that's why I'm talking about trade now. I'm talking about skill. Because you know what? I don't think you have anybody here that don't have a skill. Anybody don't have a skill? Raise their hand. I see somebody raise their hand in the back. I know you have a skill, brother. I know you have a skill. That was a thank you, Lord, right? That was a thank you, Lord. All right. But you know why? You know what happens? We equate it again to money. And so therefore, if you have a skill that doesn't make money, you're not prosperous. Hear it, eh? Now, I'm telling you on an everyday basis. If it wasn't for church, me coming here and saying that, you might have feel so, not so. If your skill don't bring in money, you're not prosperous. But what I want to tell you is, the skill that you have is your prosperity. Let's start with that. You see, if you can start and see that part of you, then you know what? More prosperity will come your way. More will come your way. But appreciate it for what you have now. Yeah, getting to somebody, anybody there? Very good. All right, good. So you can choose, as I said, you can choose to use what God has given you for yourself or to work or to make money. And we'll come to it. Here's what Psalms 1:3 says. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit. Bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Now, normally people see